Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul build for the Magicka Templar, also known as Magplar. This build is capable of pulling over 92k on the parse dummy. This build is optimized for group content and thus is not a solo build. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a super beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1-bar builds. With update 35, Oakensoul got changed and slightly nerfed, but the good thing is it's still very viable. With that being said, here's the build. So starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I'm a High Elf. I think High Elves are probably one of the best choices for Magicka DPS right now. For the food, we're going to be running Clockwork Citrus Fillet for any hard content. An easier and cheaper option would be Witch Mother's Potent Brew. And lastly, if you're parsing or just want more sustain in general, then Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. For the potions, because we're running Oakensoul Ring, we're just going to use standard essence of Magicka. The reason we're not running Spell Power Pots is because we don't need access to Major Sorcery or Major Prophecy because Oakensoul provides that for us. So therefore, we only need Major Intellect, which can be found from regular essence of Magickas. So for CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Exploiter. Swap this out for crit damage CP depending on content, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Wrathful Strikes. For the red tree, Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Rejuvenation, and Siphoning Spells. So for the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Pillar paired with 5 pieces of Whirl, 1 piece Slime Crawl, and 1 Oakensoul Ring. So breaking it down in the main hand, we have a Nern Hone Pillar Nern Dagger with a flame damage enchant, and the offhand Charge with a poison damage enchant. For the head, we have 1 piece of Slime Crawl in medium, traded in Divines with a max mag enchant. For the body, we have 5 pieces of Whirl of Depths, all traded in Divines with max mag enchants. And for 1 piece of the body, we're running Pillar Nern. This is in Divines with a max mag enchant. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Pillar Nern jewelry, both traded in Bloodthirsty with spell damage enchants. And the Oakensoul Ring is also Bloodthirsty with a spell damage enchant. So for the skills, we're going to be running Purifying Light, Puncturing Sweep, Blazing Spear, Radiant Oppression, Deadly Cloak, and Shooting Star. So for the rotation, we're going to be basing it off of our Purifying Light. This is casted every 6th skill, meaning cast Purifying Light and then 5 skills after that. In terms of our 2 dots, Blazing Spear and Deadly Cloak, they're going to be run dynamically, so refresh them as soon as they go down. And then your spammable is going to be Puncturing Sweep. Once you hit about 40%, you can just drop everything and just do Radiant Oppression all the way through. Whenever your ultimate Shooting Star is ready, you can also drop that as well. So for closing thoughts, first up, your flex spot is probably going to be Blazing Spear just because of our sustain issues. If you need to replace a skill, then that's probably the first one to go. Furthermore, if you're still having sustain issues, you can swap Purifying Light to Power the Light. And if you do Power the Light morph, make sure you swap your jewelry glyphs to weapon damage because it scales off of weapon damage. And instead of running Radiant Oppression, if you want a slightly less damaging but great heal, Radiant Glory is probably the way to go. So for gear alternatives, instead of running Whirl of Depths, you can opt to run Bosse if you're able to control your Magicka. In terms of other sets you can run for Pillar Nern, you can do Advancing Yokeda or Berserking Warrior, just make sure you run daggers. You can do Mantle of Sororia, which is actually a really good set now. And Order's Wrath is also a viable choice as well. If you want a super budget build, Order's Wrath and Julianus would work just fine. And I think that wraps it up. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, or better yet, come join our Discord. My website is now available and open to the public. I will try my best to update it for every build I make. Furthermore, I'd like to get into content creation full time, so I've started a channel membership for those who would like to support me. One added perk is that members will get build request priority. Both of the links will be in the description. And lastly, if you feel like the build has helped you in any way, please consider subbing and liking the video. Once again, thank you again, and attached is a parse. See you in the next one.